Drivers, start your engines.
Welcome everybody to one of the rounds in the playoff series here in the multi-league Stone River Outfitters Cup Series here at the Charlotte Roval, half road course, half oval. My name's Scott Patton. I'm joined up here from New Hampshire, joined in the booth with Ken Huber out in Montana. How's the fall weather out there treating you, Ken?
It's actually quite wonderful as normal. We're having a great Montana fall, but you know what's more exciting is being here at Charlotte in the fall on the Roval. Last time we were on the road course, I believe, was at Indy. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Scott?
Yes, I think that sounds right.
So that's our second inside the oval, as I like to call them. And Charlotte is probably one of the best inside the oval road courses we have out for you tonight. One of the main reasons is it's kind of unusual in the fact that this track offers elevation changes, and it's actually quite technical for a road course developed with inside Charlotte, and we've been racing this track for years. Guys all know it well, so I'm expecting some pretty exciting racing tonight.
Yeah, I am too. Certainly the pressure is on. A couple unique things about tonight, including that there are no cautions tonight. So once we drop that green flag, all bets are off, and you're kind of stuck with what you bring to the track in terms of pit strategy. I'm not sure if it's going to be possibly a one-stop race or a two-stop race, as we watch that 13 car run into problems there with Mike Rodoloso during qualifying.
Oh yeah, definitely had some problems there. That's one of the trickier parts of the track there, Scott, and we're probably going to see that a bunch tonight. Another thing is iRacing updated the cars with the new damage model. So, you know, a slight tap on the wall. We've been watching in practice. You can bend some suspension components really easily if you are not minding the quarter panels on those cars.
Yeah, certainly a new damage model within iRacing that's brought in the last couple of weeks, so it should be interesting here. Again, not only no fast repairs, but really no pit stops. I mean, there will be pit stops, but hopefully you're not going to be in there getting damage fixed, because there's not going to be a yellow flag in your future to catch back up to the field. So taking a lap here with Justin Michael, one of our championship contenders here in the playoff series, as he goes through the chicane on the backstretch. We'll maybe talk through this lap here as it comes through NASCAR 3 and 4. Like I said, half road course, half oval here. Here's the NASCAR oval portion of the track. Come through here, complete a short chicane on the front stretch before taking the, I'm not sure if this is a hot lap or not, probably taking the green flag at the start-finish line on the front stretch here, coming up.
And there you have it. He'll cross the start-finish line there. And didn't post the time there, so I guess that was his, oh yes he did, with the 121.6, so now he's on his second lap. They got 2 laps in 10 minutes to get this done, so he'll be on his second lap right now.
Yeah, hot lap now, trying to, yeah, go ahead 3 and 4 and down the mini back stretch there. Mini back stretch there, Ken, sir.
Yeah, and as he comes into 5 and 6, so he rounds 5, and then 6 here is kind of an uphill, and you come over the top here, and you got to be really careful getting the throttle down. Really easy to get through the, get loose. And then same thing here, 7 and 8. Getting back on the oval, there's a weird transition here as you get back up on the oval here for 9 and 10. Got to be really easy on that gas. See, Justin Michael does a good job there and brings it down to that blue and white line.
There it is, up to speed in NASCAR 1 and 2, down the backstretch, and then you see those brake markers on the right wall there. Hard on the brakes, all the way down to about 25 miles an hour through the back chicane where we started last lap. Hard on the gas here. I want to get a great exit out of that chicane, because that's going to lead you on to NASCAR 3 and 4, where you carry all the speed halfway around the NASCAR oval. Try to get the best lap before completing the last chicane, turns 15, 16, and 17. There's 15, the left-hander, 16, the right-hander, and 17, the final turn. Get the gas down to the start-finish line, keep it square, and try to improve on your time, which Justin Michael does to the top of the board, 19.9 inside sub 120. Nice job, Justin Michael.
Yeah, Justin Michael, he wanted that lap. I was watching him during practice. He was going neck and neck with Johnny Hamby. Johnny Hamby had the fastest time during practice with almost the same speed that Justin Michael just got on the qualifying. And Johnny Hamby had a 119.9. Justin Michael just got his 119.9 during qualifying. So Justin Michael gets it done when it counts. Right now, Johnny Hamby sitting in second with a 120.6. So Johnny Hamby a little bit slower on the practice here, but maybe playing it safe. I was kind of surprised there, Scott. It almost looked like Justin Michael maybe brush that wall just at the start finish line, I was afraid that that lap wasn't going to count for a second.
Yeah, I watched a lot of these guys in practice leading up to this race this week, earlier today as well as mostly last night. Guys had a practice room up, those Bandit guys, I was watching them. And Justin Michael was really struggling on that last chicane there, trying to find some speed. And that was one of his weaknesses there of the lap, was getting that last corner down, lap 17, come to the start finish line without hitting that wall. So it'll be interesting tonight if you can complete it 37 times without making contact. We'll see. Right now, looking at the 68 car of, who's this? I don't recognize that paint scheme.
Michael Loveless. He beat me to it. I don't recognize the paint scheme either there, Scott. And, well, he just went over the curbs on that with that car. So that lap is not going to count. So I don't know if that was his first or second lap. He's still on the track, so I assume he's still got another chance to get a qualifying time in here. Hey, while we're waiting for these guys to finish up qualifying, do we have the point standings by chance?
Yes, you got the points. We'll throw them up there for you, Ken.
Yeah, so right now Justin Michael is leading the points, and just as he has pretty much all season. Got 11 wins on the season so far, so Justin Michael has been pretty dominant thus far. Currently sits on the pole for tonight's race, just behind him, 31 points behind Wesley Holland. So I wonder if senior Wes Holland is out there in chat. Give your son a shout out if you are. Jeffrey Merck. Jeffrey Merck is not out there tonight. I believe he's still dealing with the hurricane. He's in third place, pretty safe to make it to the next round of playoffs. But his house was damaged during the hurricane, and I don't know if anybody's subbing for him. Scott, do you know?
Yes, we got Kim Quick out there again this week, subbing for Jeff Merck. Like I said, lost his most of his home in the hurricane, still figuring out how to get his stuff back in order. But we'll watch Kim make some laps here in his qualifying while he finished the points there.
Christopher Davis out there in fourth. I don't see him out on the track yet. Vernon Margheim in fifth place. Vernon Margheim doing a solid job. 59 points out of the lead. He's also tied with Charles Widener, another guy. Fifth place, 59 points out of the lead. So good job there, Charlie. Heath Smith, that one car. He is out there in seventh place. Billy Bumgardner in eighth. And then James Hearns is sitting in ninth. These are guys that are going to try to race their way in. I think we go to, we're going to cut it down to 8 or 12, right, Scott?
8 after tonight, yep.
Yeah, so 8 after Scott. So after Billy Bumgardner, we got James Hearns. He's going to be fighting to get his way back into the points. Currently sitting in ninth. We got a tie for 10th, and that's Trent Drum and Rod Mitten. Both those guys are duking it out to get a playoff spot. And then Greg Mall sitting there in that final 12th spot, trying to race his way in, but he's got a tough road to hoe right now, Scott. 85 points out of the lead.
He does, and unfortunately, unlike the actual NASCAR series that races on Sunday, a win and you're in does not cut it for this series here in the Stone River Outfitters Cup Series. So you got to point your way in every race, and like I said, it's a long uphill battle there for Greg Mall, starting in the 12th spot there.
Yeah, Greg Mall has 2 wins on the season too, so it's going to be unfortunate if he can't put it together tonight. But Greg Mall is pretty fast. He's currently sitting third on the starting grid right now, so he did his job as far as getting the car qualified. Now, if have a really good race, he might be able to race his way in.
I'm looking at that, it's kind of interesting here. I'm looking at that inside line. If you're up, there goes Kim Quick down the backstretch, misses the short chute. And he's going to come here and through NASCAR 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to be stuck in 13th spot, as he calls it quits here. 30 seconds left to go in qualifying. And who's this? The 68 car. We saw him earlier, right? It's Michael Loveless back out there and back having problems again.
Yeah, he tagged the wall, and that lap definitely isn't going to count. As you can see, he just is going to park it there on the track, get a tow truck, and pull the backup car out of the hauler to hit tonight's grid.
2 car of Mark Bill in there, put down a lap and puts him in 12 spots starting. And those are the only cars left on the racetrack with 3 seconds. And officially, Justin Michael takes the pole here. I was going to say on the inside line starting time, it's going to be Justin Michael, his teammate Greg Mall behind him, and then Wesley Holland in 5th spot. So that kind of rounds out that inside line. That should be a nice, interesting battle here as we go into turn 1 for the start of this thing. But speaking of, let's bring up the starting grid here in just a moment.
While we're waiting for Scott to bring up the qualifying results, kind of interesting what we got up front here. we talked about it last road course race we had was back at Indy. Johnny Hamby and Justin Michael went nose to tail that entire race, and they're back nose to tail again, qualifying 1 and 2. So that should be pretty exciting. Greg Mall, no slouch himself, is out there in third. So I think we're going to have a pretty exciting race.
All right, there we go. There's the grid camera. Let's look at our starting grid here tonight. Justin Michael on the pole from Martinsburg, West Virginia. Johnny Hamby, road racer specialty. Should be interesting to see him race tonight. Greg Mall, Matt Rodoloso, Wesley Holland rounding out the top 5. 6, one of our league admins giving the driver briefing right now, James Hearns from Barrie, Ontario, Canada. 7th, Charlie Widener. Heath Smith in 8th. Rod Mitten in 9th. And Vernon Margheim, fan favorite, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Jack Watson, the 77 car, will start in 11th. Mark Billen in the number 2 car starts in 12th tonight. Kim Quick, who's out there subbing for Jeffrey Mark in the 60 car, will be starting 13th. He is the last car that took qualifying time. So everyone after this didn't take a time, is going to be starting provisionally, and that's Trent Drum starts in 14th. Michael Loveless will start in 15th. Billy Bumgarner will start in 16th. Wally Turheimer will start in 17th. David Schreck starts that position in 18th. John Stepanich starts 19th. And the last car of the field is Mr. Excitement. JJ Garrett in the 79 Caterpillar car will round out your 20-car field tonight.
There it is, an exciting one for sure. Should be a good one as these cars roll. Got a full lap here before we turn them loose. Fuel strategy, from what I'm told, should be really interesting tonight. There's a possibility these drivers can make it on just one stop. It's definitely a one-stop race, but possibly a two-stop race, depending on how these guys maybe choose gearing and how much they abuse these tires and fuel, turning down these fast laps during the race. But there's a possibility somebody out there that wants to play conservative can possibly make this race on just one stop.
Yeah, I was talking to some of those guys tonight too, Scott. Some guys, there might be some guys that might try to do it on one stop. I don't know. I think you have to conserve a lot of fuel, which means you won't be running up front to make it in a one-stop deal. So I kind of expect the guys that are making 2 stops are probably the ones that are going to be in contention, but it's really hard to say. I guess we'll find out.
That we will. Just one half a lap away. Let's go up top, maybe to see what this track looks like from the blimp view. There's a nice shot of the whole track. You can kind of see him weaving through the S-turns through the front stretch. That's where they end up coming on to NASCAR Turn 1 there.
You're confusing me with NASCAR Turn 1 there, Scott. You'll have to describe that to me.
Like NASCAR Turn 1 on the oval.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right.
Actually, you know what? I took the time to make the graphic. Let's throw up the track map while we're at it so the fans can see. NASCAR 1 is the left-hander they make to go into the infield. 2 and 3 and 4 are kind of the right-handers there to get them on the short chute on the backstretch. 5 and 6 round out the, and 7 rather, round out the infield. 8 brings them on to what I call NASCAR 1, which is really turn 9 of the road course. Turn 10 is NASCAR Turn 2 there to the backstretch. 11 and 12 takes them to the short chute, which they're about to go through right now on the backstretch. 13 and 14 bring them back around to the front stretch where they complete one more chicane. Turn 15, 16, 17 before hammering down to the finish line.
Well, they're about to head towards 15, 16, and 17 as they're rounding the corner here in 13 and 14. So as these guys are pulling those belts tight, as they like to say, and getting ready to rumble out here, looking at that 70, that Still machine up against the 87 right now, and it's kind of critical how you get off this first lap. It's really easy to spin the rear tires and have the whole field kind of passing. You got to watch the curbs because the flag kind of comes out right at when they enter 16 here. So it's very easy to get out of shape and lose a position or two. But pace car ducks in. I'll let you take it, Scott.
Here we go. Justin Michael, Johnny Hamby, road racing specialists here on the front row. Greg Mall and Matt Rodoloso in the second row there, and Wesley Holland rounding out the top 5. Green flag is out here. Roval Racing in the playoffs. Stone River Outfitters Cup Series underway. Hard on the brakes into turn 1. Justin Michael gets a great jump. I'm sure that's exactly what he wanted. The action back here we're following is side by side with Greg Mall and Johnny Hamby through turn 2 here.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about, Scott. Johnny Hamby did not get a good start when that flag came out. Kind of rear tires spun on him and allowed that 7 Miller Fortune car to get by him with Greg Mall. So he's going to have to relegate himself back to 3rd at the moment. Just behind him, we got Matt Rodoloso having a solid job so far on that start, running in fourth, and Wesley Holland out there battling Johnny Hamby at the moment.
There it is, Wesley Holland in a brand new paint job tonight. Looks like a pink paint scheme. Still the same Kevin Harvick themed car there, 41, a Mobile 1 Ford Mustang for Wesley Holland, sharp looking car.
So just behind them, we got Matt Rodoloso trying to make a move on James Hearns in that 78 car. That's a battle for fifth, I believe it is, fifth or sixth. And that 13 gets back by James Hearns. The 13 had a difficult start as well, and he lost a bunch of positions. And then just behind them, you can see Rod Minton going by 78 car of James Hearns as well.
There these guys are, the single file out here. Vernon Margine behind them. Looks like Heath Smith and Jack Watts. Jack Watts almost closed the gap there through the chicane on the front stretch. Already on lap number 2 here in the Roval.
Yeah, I thought Johnny Hamby had made a pass up for second, but I was mistaken there, Scott. But putting some pressure on that 7. 7 gets a little wide there. You can see Johnny Hamby all up on the back bumper of that 7 car. That's also allowing the... That's also allowing the 41 car of Wesley Holland to catch back up.
That it is. You see that battle there. It's probably the best one on the racetrack right now. These guys get back onto the NASCAR oval. And Johnny Hamby, Wes Holland there in the 2 pink cars. Chasing down Greg Mall up there. You notice Greg has pink rims on there. We're doing Cancer Awareness October. In the NASCAR Cup Series, they actually do pink colored window nets. Here in the Multi-League Series, since we don't have the option to change the color of the window nets itself in the paint schemes, the drivers can, however, change the color of the rims, and we've decided that's how we're going to participate. So anybody kind of raising awareness for cancer all around, and a lot of drivers participate in that. It's kind of a cool thing we do here at Multi-League Racing.
Most definitely. Looking back, Charles Widener, not known as a road course racer, but he's back there in 5th, kind of running by himself, kind of let the field sort it out. He's also got those pink rims on that 95 Lowe's silver machine out there. Matt Rodoloso is coming into the picture there. He had a bad start, but starting to roll back his way up front. Just behind them, we got Rod Minton and James Hearns. We kind of covered that little battle. Minton was able to get around the 78 car. 78 car pretty good on the road courses himself, but seems to be struggling tonight.
Yeah, probably just a little bit. You can notice our playoff drivers tonight also with the playoff banners. You see those 2 guys, Rod Minton and James Hearns, both with the red windshield banner, the red spoiler in the back, and the little red stripe on the splitter in the front of the car denotes all of our playoff contenders. There's 12 cars sporting that playoff banner tonight. That's going to be narrowed down to just 8 cars next week at Las Vegas.
Let's roll back to, I guess it's about 13th place there, Scott, and the substitute driver for Jeffrey Merck back there in that 60 Stone River Outfitters car. Under pressure, that 68 car of Michael Loveless right now. Doing a solid job. Car still looks clean, so Kim Quick is that substitute driver, doing a great job of keeping that car so far clean and green.
Doing a great job picking up points while he can. Trying to crack the top 10 here. You can probably see those cars just in front of him here. He's kind of looking to closing in on the 2 car of Mark Billen here as he crosses the stripe. Lap 4 on the board here at the Roval. Back
up front, there's some pressure happening. The 7 car is putting some pressure on his teammate Justin Michael there, so the Bandit boys are starting to get a little feisty out there. I think they would like to escape that 70 car that's just behind them. And if you notice, there is no playoff banner on that car. Johnny Hamby running in that 3rd position in that 70 Camaro, trying to spoil the party, as they like to say, of those 2 guys. Yeah, riding on the front bumper right now of Johnny Hamby. Great view down the back stretch. See those braking signs there, is hard on the brakes. If I was Johnny, what do you think, Ken? Is he kind of waiting for those Bandit guys to maybe mix it up, but wait for Greg to put some pressure on Justin and then maybe take advantage of a 3-car pass maybe? Or is he kind of, do you think he's all out right now trying to get the best of him? Yeah, I think he might be trying to be patient. If I was him, I think that would be the smart move. Be patient, keep him in sight, maybe start to put some pressure on him. Let him know you're back there, so maybe you can force a mistake. That's probably your best option here, because these 3 guys have been really fast. We watched them during practice. all in the low 120s or 19s. So these three guys kind of knew they were all going to be together here at this point in the race, and that's exactly what they're doing. Being that the front two are teammates, though, Hamby will have to eventually start putting some pressure on if he wants one of those guys to make a mistake. Because I have a feeling that Greg Mall is going to be content running back there in second, at least for now.
Right. I agree. All these drivers know they've got green flag pit stops coming up here in about 10 laps or so, halfway through this race, I got to assume. If not sooner, if they might be on a 2-stop race. But tires seem to be one of the storylines tonight we got to cover. Ken, we've heard from the drivers in practice, and you ran some practice laps yourself. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the tire fall-off does not seem to be very much here at Charlotte Roval this week.
Yeah, that's kind of what we noticed throughout all the road courses as we were talking about. Tire wear is just not an issue, and I think we might not see anybody take tires, at least the top guys not take tires tonight, which will be really interesting and unusual at the same time. Hey, while I mentioned I got to run downstairs, I got to grab a hot dog, man. I'm really hungry, so I heard they got some good hot dogs here at Charlotte.
All right, grab me one too, Ken. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right. All right, folks, Justin Michael across the line here. Lap 6 on the board here at the Charlotte Roval. If you're joining us in the chat, let's see, we've got Michael Milfelt says, JJ makes it 2 laps. Let's go and find JJ. Gosh, did he even start this race? I don't see him in the lineup. Yeah, sorry, Mike, I don't even think JJ started, so I guess you win the bet that he didn't even start there. Michael Milfeld's also pulling for Johnny Hamby here in 3rd spot, saying don't let those Bandit boys get another win. The pressure's on. Johnny, you got some fans out there. And Jeff Merck, of course, is watching. And Captain Bandit. Smoke, where are you watching from tonight? I see you're not in the race itself, but let us know where you're watching the race from, and I assume you're away from home, that's why you're not watching the race? Trying to find a close battle on the racetrack. I think the closest battle might be back here. Tim Quick for 12th. That's 11th spot in front of him, and 13th behind him. Michael Loveless trying to chase down Kim Quick, one of the best battles on the racetrack right now. Through the backstretch chicane, hard on the gas into NASCAR 3, and around to the front stretch.
Well, I made it back. Took a bite off my hot dog. What did I miss there, Scott?
Not a whole lot. We're looking for good battles here. We're right on the battle of Kim Quick, and Michael Loveless seems to be 12th and 13th. Seem to be one of the best battles on the racetrack. Michael Loveless really putting the pressure on now, going into turn number 1. Kim Quick.
Yeah, these guys been locked up since when I left before. So, hey, we're on lap 7, just about ready to hit lap 8. And I know we're going to have a somber moment here, Scott, as we watch these two guys battle.
Yes, we get that coming up here in just half a lap or so. We'll go to our lead battle and see what's happening there as Greg Mall looking high on the backstretch. Woo, split the speed cam down the backstretch. And Greg Mall to the lead here. Lead change, lap number 7. Give it to Greg Mall in the Miller. Should we say it? I'm not even going to say it. It's the Miller Fortune car.
Miller unfortunate car?
Unfortunate car, yeah.
Well, Greg Mall needs to get these wins, so he's on the outside looking in at the moment.
Here we are across the start-finish line, lap number 8 on the board. What we're going to do tonight, tonight is unfortunately the 1-year anniversary that we lost one of our greats here at Multi-League Racing, Kent Conley, in the 88 car. It gives me chills just talking about him, but love you, brother, and we wanted to pay respects to you and pay tribute to you, let you know, let everybody know that we haven't forgotten about you, brother. And here's a silent lap number 8 for you, brother. There it is, lap number 9 going on the board now. That's our tribute lap to Kent Conley. Love you, brother. We're not going to make it to lap 88 tonight. We only got 37 on the board, but I know you watch it from above, and you'll be out here racing with us if you could, brother. Miss you.
So we missed some action here, Scott. I don't know what happened in 70 car, but Johnny Hamby is off the track. So something happened during that pass. I imagine whenever Greg Mall got by Justin Michael, he was in third. We didn't catch it, so apologize to the fans for that, but something must have happened. Maybe a wall
I do have a highlight here. Let's go back and look at a quick replay. Here is, should be Johnny Hamby. Looks like the front stretch chicane. This is a replay. See what happened. I think he maybe got a little hot into there, but I don't see any issues there. That's interesting. Let's try one more here. Maybe this incident here through, what was that, 9 and 10? Oh, hard into the wall in the toe link. There's the tire off the Johnny Hamby car. That is done. He is toast. I don't know if that's going to be an easy fix, but man, that wall there.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a hard. That was, what do you call that? That's a Chase Elliott hit right there.
That is, yeah. So
we were able to capture his bad night on TV. So there you go. So sorry there, Johnny, but at least we know what happened to you. So he was having a good run. Meanwhile, Greg Ball just pulling away from his teammate there, 1.5 seconds now over Justin Michael. Meanwhile, Wes Holland back there in third inherited that third spot. He was just 2.5 seconds behind last time I looked, but now he's 5.5 seconds. So something, either he got loose or sideways or something, but Wes Holland has slipped back a little bit. He was looking really strong.
That he is 5 seconds back right now, and then a huge 19-second gap back to Charlie Widener. He's about 14 seconds off the bumper of Wes Holland.
But looks like Charles Widener is about to feel some pressure from Matt Rodoloso there in that 13 car. We talked about him. Didn't get the great start off the line. He's still trying to make up those positions. As we go through 7 and 8 here and up onto the back oval part, the 9 and 10, I guess they'd like to call it. See if he can get the run on Charles Widener here. He looks to the low side. Looks like these guys are about equal on speed, and I don't know, it'd be a hard braking move there to do it here.
Yeah, probably not quite close enough to that chrome bumper, the Lowe's Chevy of Charlie Widener there as it closes in, gets right to his bumper there on the front bumper cam. Matt Rodoloso, we're looking at started 4th, currently running in 5th, trying to chase down Charlie up there with the pink rims.
Yeah, I just went back to our substitute driver back there running in 9th in the 60 car, the Stone River Outfitters car, out there running for Jeffrey Merck. Kim Quick, he's up to 9th after starting 13th, so far having a really solid night. And I just seen our leader communicate on the radio there, so I was seeing if he's having to deal with some traffic. The leaders are coming up on lap traffic, so it looks like one of the cars that Greg Mull is about to approach is the Tide Machine, the 12 car of Trent Drum. So Trent Drum is about to fall victim and go a lap down here.
There it is, Trent going down the backstretch, trying to put down some fast laps. He's got Greg Mull fast closing in here. Greg Mull out braking him into the chicane, going to try to make a move probably in NASCAR 3 and 4. There goes Greg, your leader, to the inside of Trent Drum to put him 1 lap down on lap 11 here.
Yeah, that Tide car almost came to a stop before that chicane there. That allowed Justin Michael to close back in a little bit on his teammate Greg Mull. Probably gained 0.3 of a second, but and now Justin Michael's having to deal with the lap car, and it's a very similar situation. You'll see him go on the inside.
Yeah, I don't know that Justin could have caught Trent at a worse spot right at the entry of that front stretch chicane. Probably lost a couple tenths there trying to get around him. But I'm going to go back here. Jack Watts in that Budweiser car. I guess he just came to pit road. I'm trying to find a couple incidents here. Charles Widener says he got a 4X incident. We'll see what happened on the front stretch here. This is a replay. And maybe the front stretch wall that he hit. I'm not sure. We'll look into turn 1 before we go back live here in just a second. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. Back live it is.
Well, live it is. And that battle with Matt Rodoloso and Charles Widener is still the same. It's still nose to tail. It's kind of funny watching these two. Can't seem to escape each other. Just behind them, you got Rod Minton running back there in 6th place. He's 27.2 seconds off the lead. So these two leaders, Greg Mull and Justin Michael, are just opening a massive lead. And it looks like Greg Mall is really outperforming his teammate by a lot here. He's almost up 3 seconds on Justin Michael now at the moment.
That is impressive by Greg Mall. I'm sure he's going to be frustrated. He's doing everything he can to collect probably every bonus point he can get his hands on. Of course, he did not get the pole bonus point tonight, but he's probably going to try to lead the most laps, hopefully win this thing, and count on the luck or misluck of everybody else to hopefully make the point cut as we cut the field down from 12 drivers down to 8 after the conclusion of this race tonight.
And the nice thing about being out here and starting to open a lead like that, especially in road course racing, when you come in for the pits, it kind of leaves you with some options that some of the other drivers might not have. Something that, you know, if he can get a 5-second lead, then he's got some tire options. If a lot of these guys have chosen not to take tires, he might consider tires. Although I've heard that sometimes new tires will actually make you slower, so might not be the best option. But like I said, it does give you some options on pit lane.
Absolutely. Like I said, it just kind of opens up that comfort level. And what I've found, and I'm sure you can relate to this too, Ken, being a premier awesome road racer yourself, but once you open up a gap, you kind of get into that, settle into that groove, knocking out the corners, kind of backing off the corners, trying to be a little bit slower and more conservative. And what you end up finding out is you're almost faster doing that, and the more you get settled in, and your gap ends up increasing. So that's kind of relaxes you a little bit more and more, and you find yourself throughout the entire race getting more relaxed, and that gap opening up even more.
Yeah, well, I think you must be more premier than me, Scott, because because usually what happens for me is I'll start easing up and then I'll start screwing up. That's a story of my road racing skills. So I got to go full tilt the whole way. Otherwise, if I start slowing down, then I start making mistakes. So I got to go with what I know.
Ken, I've never seen you screw up on a road race before.
Oh, I have.
Except for Indy, maybe.
Yeah. I can screw him up with the best of them. But right now, Greg Mall, he hasn't made any mistakes. Able to get a great start getting by Hamby at the start. He's out there leading this thing after starting in third position, and still growing. Grew another 0.3 of a second on his teammate, Justin Michael. Continuing, as we said, to open this thing up.
Let's look at some lap times last time around. Greg Mall with a 121.1. I'm scrolling down the leaderboard, and there's only one other driver, Wes Holland, that's in the 121 bracket with a 121.3. So,
and I was going to mention Wes Holland. So the one thing I know that Wes Holland's not doing is he's not catching the leader. But I'm also wondering if he is catching Justin Michael, though. Those two guys are battling. I think Wes Holland, if I remember right, is third in points. Yeah, that's correct. Oh, no, Wes Holland is the second in points. So he's definitely trying to keep Justin Michael in check, so when we get to that final race of the season, he's there, and anything can happen on that last race.
Absolutely. As we watch that gap right now, I think that's a lap car. I want to say Jack Watts, maybe? It looks like a red car between... Oh, no, there's a couple cars. That is Jack Watts, but I thought Justin Michael was the car in front of him. I am mistaken. Justin Michael's a little bit further up, 3 seconds in front of Wes Holland.
Yeah, Wes Holland has closed the distance on Justin Michael. As I was mentioning that, although Wesley Holland's going to have to deal with the lap traffic 77 car of Jack Watts, as you mentioned, and then it looks like he's got the 6 car up there just ahead of them, John Stepanich, trying to put, well, these two guys are lap down, but kind of caught these two cars at the wrong time out here as they enter the backstretch here, going into 9 and 10. Should be able to get by these guys at this point.
Yeah, it can be frustrating as a lead lap car like Wes Holland. You know you're faster, but these guys are also fighting for position as they go side by side. John Stepanich maybe backs off, and Jack Watts is maybe going to give it to him on the backstretch here. No, he doesn't. Thinks better of it. Wes Holland making some smart moves, falling in line. And Jack Watts way wide on the chicane, almost makes contact, gets off the gas there, and lets Wes by there. Whew, I'm sure that was stressful for Wes there.
Yeah, I think that's good heads up by Wes, though. It looks like he was kind of anticipating how hard that 77 went into that corner and knew he was going to go wide, and just he checked up early and so he could stay on the inside there and make that pass.
Let's scroll through the field here a little bit, see if we can find some drivers we haven't talked about yet. Matt Rodoloso and Charles Widener. Looks like Matt found his way around Charles. We missed that battle, but it looks like that happened. Trent Drama's lap car we talked about earlier. David Schreck. Haven't talked much about him, but he is 1 lap down as well in that 9 Coors Extra Gold car. Ford Mustang. Currently running in 9th. Then we're back to Heath Smith. Racing behind Charles Widener. He's 45 seconds off the lead pace. Heath Smith running in 6th right now. And then we're back to 7th with Tim Quick. Last time we talked to him, I think he was in 9th. So he's continued to pick up spots, eyeballing a top 10, or a top 5 rather. He's well within the top 10 right now, but eyeballing the top 5 here. Jeff, what do you think about that? If you're in the chat there, Jeff. Kim Quick throwing up some points for you in the Stone River Cup Series. And then James Hearns doing a great job behind him in 8th. Rod Mitten, if we can find him, there he is in 9th, playoff contender. And Vernon Margai, there he is, in rounding out the top 10 here. He's 1 minute and 3 seconds. He's about 15 seconds from being lapped from our leader.
Well, we just completed lap 17, and this is kind of the crucial point here. If you're going to make it on one stop or two, it looks like these guys are going for the one-stop strategy here. Greg Mall's going to be able to get to lap 18, I would think. Just got by the 68 car. Gets a little sideways.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, we up are on the pit strategy now. So lap 18, I believe, it's going to be tight. They need one of these laps to be 19 laps, I believe, Scott.
You're saying they need to get to lap 19 is the goal?
Well, that's what, let's see, 18, I'm trying to do some quick math, but 18 is 36, so
yeah.
One of the laps has to be 19 laps, so it looks like he's got 18 in the books, and can he go one extra lap after this? We'll find out, so. Now, he has opened up a 7-8 second gap, so he could come in Mize Fuel for the second half and maybe do it on 19. I don't know, it's hard to say, but we'll see what goes on
I
here.
just turned on the chat, and I think that was Greg Mall's voice, if I know it, that he said he's pitting this time. There he is, down pit road. 7 car, your leader, pitting on the end of lap 17. If you double that, that gets you to lap 34, which I know my math isn't that good, but 34 is definitely shy of 37.
Yeah, it's not going to get it. Let's see what Justin Michael does, see if he heads pit lane. Justin Michael's still out there, so Greg Mall in a little bit early, so running the car hard, that might be what Justin Michael's strategy is. Okay, you go up there and you run the wheels off that thing. I'm going to save some fuel.
It's one thing I know about Justin Michael and Wes Holland, for that matter. If they can't catch you on straight speed, it's they've definitely got that extra card in their pocket where they can beat you on fuel mileage or any other strategy out there. So Justin Michael, for sure, it's no fluke that he's got 11 win stickers on his A-post. It doesn't happen by accident. He knows what he's doing out here, and he's thinking long-term. Lap 37. Oh, man, that is a blind corner there. Justin Michael just came around and came up on Billy Bumgarner in that Gatorade Ford by surprise there around that blind corner.
Yeah, so I watched Greg Mall's pit stop there. He didn't take any tires, just fuel only. So as we mentioned before, it looks like that's going to be the strategy of the night. Justin Michael, we'll see if he comes in this time by as he goes through one of the final chicanes here on the backstretch. And this will bring us to lap 19 when he crosses the line. And it sounds like he is headed to pit lane.
Yeah, I just heard him on the radio there. I turned the radio up there so the fans can hear the drivers calling out the pit stops just as we hear him live as well. Justin Michael to pit road.
Wes Holland still out on the track. There's an interesting story there, Scott. So Wes Holland, who was catching Justin Michael, stays out on the track. So if he can complete this lap, I believe he's going to be safe at his current level of driving anyway to make it the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Even if he was maybe sandbagging a little bit on the first half of this race, just wanting to get to 19, so he knew with a little bit of comfort that he could get there, and then maybe turn up the heat a little bit on the second half of this race. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wes has got a little bit of hidden speed in that Ford Mustang for the second half of this thing. Should be interesting to see how these lap times and gaps play out, because I don't think everybody has shown all their cards yet in this first half.
Justin Michael just exited his pit lane. I believe that was no tires. I actually didn't watch him, but I think that was pretty self-explanatory at this point. But back out on the track, trying to chase down his teammate Greg Mall, who's been dominating so far. Greg Mall just ahead of him by probably, I'm guessing, about 12 seconds by what it looks like on the screen right now.
Yeah, 13, about 7 seconds from Greg Mall back to Justin Michael. And then still waiting for Wesley Holland to make his pit stop. We'll see this time. I got to assume there's really no benefit at this point in staying out much further, but we'll see what Wes does here off of NASCAR turn 4. Woes it down, coming to pit road this time.
You have a cockpit view of Wes Holland's car. Let's hear that engine, see if it's missing at all when he heads to his pit lane.
Yep, there it is. Sounds like it's up to a dull roar all the way into a stop. Sounds like he's got plenty of fuel in there.
It's his box. No tires, it looks like. Fuel only. As we call, just behind them, I see a couple cars on pit lane. Looks like Dave Schreck exiting his pit. And then the car behind him, I'm trying to figure out who that is. Didn't quite catch it. They are taking 4 tires. Well, Wes Holland's away. We'll see how this shakes out after my timing and scoring catches up.
So now the leaderboard is kind of accurate towards the front. Wes Holland now coming out in 3rd spot. Everybody is, in terms of the lead cars at the very least, have made a pit stop. I gotta imagine that nobody's made it at 20 laps, so I think the entire field has made a stop at this point. 12 seconds describes the gap between Greg Maul and Wes Holland.
So the question I have is Justin Michael, because my sense is now at this point, Greg Maul will probably have to make another stop. Wes Holland won't, and Justin Michael's on the bubble.
I think that is accurate, right? You said Justin Michael most definitely will, right? He was the first one in, if I'm not mistaken?
No, Greg Maul was the first one in. So
Greg Maul,
Justin
okay.
Michael came
Gotcha.
in a lap later on 19, and Wes Holland made it 20 laps. So I feel like Justin Michael is in the maybe position. Greg Maul will probably have to do a second stop.
And now this could be interesting from Wes Holland's standpoint. You got to think he's got more than enough fuel to make it. Maybe he's going to turn up the wick a little bit here in this second half. Like I said, I don't know that he's shown all of his cards. He might be burning a little bit more fuel, get a little bit more pace, and see, especially knowing that Greg Maul cannot make it to the end. Can he turn up the heat here and close that 4-second gap between him and Justin Michael here in second? That could be the race for the win here when we get closer to lap 37.
Yeah, while we're talking there, Scott, it looks like Michael Loveless got around Heath Smith in the 1 car there. Michael Loveless starting to make his way, started in 15th, up to 10th, trying to, well, at least he's in the top 10, probably trying to make his way up to the top 5, but he's got a hard road to hoe. He is 1 minute, 4 seconds off the lead.
I was going to give a shout out to Heath Smith driving the Multi-League Racing Network car there from Covington Motorsports, sporting the Chris Durham show on the side of the car and MLRN on the front and the rear quarter panels. Awesome sharp looking car there, still in the playoff contention. Heath Smith.
Yeah, it's very awesome there, Heath.
With the pink rims, of course.
Yeah, Heath Smith's currently 7th in points right now. Having a solid run tonight. Just in the top 10. He's trying to stay in that 8th position. Right now, like I said, 7th. Billy Bumgarner is challenging him. Billy Bumgarner and James Hearns is just a couple points behind him. So he's got to be very careful here. He needs to actually beat James Hearns. Looking at the points here, James Hearns is going to be in. Heath Smith's going to be on the bubble. Let me see what Billy is. Billy is back behind him a lap down. So right now, to me, just math in my head, Heath Smith is on the bubble in 8th position.
I don't know if I'd be super comfortable there, but he's running in 10th right now, yeah.
And Trent Drum is back there. So, yeah, I think that's what he's going to have to deal with right now.
Watch these battles back in the pack. Back to Kim Quick and running in 11th right now. We saw him as high as 9th through that pit stop cycle there. So Kim Quick, maybe he had a 11-second pit stop, if I'm not mistaken, 11.5 seconds. So that to me screams that he took at least 2 tires, if not 4. So Kim Quick here, maybe with getting some tires and a little bit longer on pit road, cost him a couple spots coming back out for green flag.
Yeah, and he's about to, like you said, about to go a lap down to Greg Maul, approaching the back bumper of that 60 Stone River Outfitters car. And we can see the Miller Fortune car go to the inside here in 3 and 4. Makes that pass look easy.
There he is. Kim's got no other choice but to give it up to the race leader, Greg Maul, putting him down 8.5 seconds now, count him, in front of Justin Michael. But let's not forget, Greg Maul, I gotta imagine, has got to know also that he cannot make it to the end of this thing. without another pit stop.
Yeah, so looking at Greg Mall and the 3 cars that are behind him, those 3 cars, we got Mark Billen, Kim Quick, Jack Watts. All 3 of those guys are racing for position, so they got their own little race going here. By the time Justin Michael catches up to him, Justin Michael could have his hands full because, like I said, these 3 guys are racing for position.
Yeah, here's Jack Watts closing the gap on Mark Billen. Mark Billen with a sharp-looking car up there. Buck Fiden. Oh, look at that. I get it. That's pretty funny.
Keeping it clean for iRacing TV. Multi-league racing TV. I like it.
You know when you... Oh, there's Jack Watts, the pit road, breaks up that battle. Mark Billen and Kim Quick here finishing off that battle. So the start-finish line, lap 23. We are almost 2/3 of the way through this thing already.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking here, Jack Watts is just relegated himself to the 2-stop strategy. And maybe that's why we see Kim Quick in the position he's at after almost making it up into the top 5. So might have to wait for some of these guys to do their second stops, and that'll move Kim Quick up for Jeffrey Merck and giving Jeffrey Merck some more points to go into the next race. I will say, though, Jeff, you're kind of safe looking at the points from my standpoint.
Yeah, I got to imagine Jeff's got to be pretty comfortable making the cut here. If you're enjoying the race there, Jeff, give us a shout out in the chat. I see Jay Smoke in the chat. Looks like Chris from Bandits in the chat there. Michael Milfelt, of course, giving props to Kim. And Shelly Mall, not sure what the relationship is there to Greg Mall, but she says, great, Greg, great job. Doing about the best that he can, leading this thing.
Yeah, so Jay Smoke just commented in the chat. I'd like to know where Jason Hughes is tonight. Why he's not. What's your excuse tonight? I'm going to say like I did last time. You scared? You scared to be out here? It's just a road course, Jay. You can do it, man. Everything's not Talladega.
Anybody can do this.
Back up front, still Greg Mall over his teammate by almost 9 seconds. Wesley Holland, he's back there 13 seconds off the lead. He is trying to chase down Justin Michael. I think he's about 5 seconds, 4.9 seconds behind Justin Michael's, kind of holding that gap.
Yeah, there it is. 13 seconds off the lead. Like I said, about four and change off the bumper of Justin Michael. We're on the front bumper cam right now of Wesley Holland himself from Colorado Springs. Starting 5th tonight, running in 3rd.
Hey, Jason, Smoke, is Talladega not road? Isn't it? Don't you drive it on a road? I believe you do. I think it's called a road. Always like our people in chat. At least I'll give Smoke credit. He's not out there trying to drive the car and chat on YouTube here.
That's true. We know Smoke has a hard enough time driving by himself without chatting too.
Well, still dominated by Greg Mall. He's approaching another lap car. This time it's going to be James Hearns in that royal purple machine, 78 Ford Mustang with the yellow stripes. He is a playoff contender right now. He will be able to transfer to the top 8 if he can hold on to this position tonight.
Yeah, I got to imagine it's got to be frustrating from James' standpoint to see the leader, Greg Mall, about to put him a lap down, but he's also got to know with comfort that last car in the lead lap right now, he's doing what he's got to do. Top 10 to finish here tonight could possibly point him in. I missed what you said about the points. Is James... Oh, I don't know. Man, looking at the cut line right now, he is 1 point behind Billy Bumgarner. Let's follow that battle here. Billy Bumgarner down to 14th, so James Hearns, if he continues to run where he is, should more than likely pick up a couple points on Billy Bumgarner.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at. That's why he's going to need to hold the position he's got. But it's tight for a lot of these guys back here. You know, like I said, Heath Smith, Billy Bumgarner, James Hearns, including Trent Drum, who's and Rod Mitten. Where's Rod Mitten at? Rod Mitten is running actually in 6th. So Rod Mitten, I'm just doing some math here. He is 72. He's 10 points, 11, 12. Looks like he's 10 points from pointing his way in. So It's actually going to be close. I don't know. Rod Minton's going to need to make another couple positions, I think, here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be super comfortable where he's running right now in 6th, but Rod's still doing the best he can. He's got a tough battle up front, a lot of fast guys in front of him, including trying to race down Charles Widener here on the backstretch.
Yeah, and Charles is in the 5th position, 59 points off the lead. Charles having a solid night. All these guys they all need to have a good night, and so far they're doing what they need to do. Billy Bumgardner, kind of the last guy in that battle we were talking about. Well, actually, Trent Drum. 2 laps down, Trent Drum is, he's going to need a miracle at this point to advance to the next session, I guess.
There he is in the Ricky Rudd themed Tide car. I like that one because that reminds me of Ricky Rudd back in the day in the late 90s. And the white back, white fade to the orange in the front. Cool looking car. I like it.
Yes, it is. So it looks like we got 8 cars on the lead lap. I'm just going through here.
I'm counting 7 here. Michael Loveless. Smith, I think, just went a lap down.
7 cars. So Greg Mall's putting them down tonight. We are 10 to go at this point there, Scott. So we're ticking off the laps. Greg Mall in firm control. The question is he going to have to pit again? And I believe he is. I don't know. Maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he's been backing it down.
What do you think? Maybe Captain Bandit. Chris, if you're in the chat there, what's the inside scoop? I know you're listening to the radio chat. I promise it's just between you and I. Nobody else is listening. What's the pit strategy for Greg Mall going forward in this thing? See if we can get some inside scoop from the captain.
Meanwhile, I was checking on Wes Holland back there running in 30. Goes by the lap car of Bernard Margheim in the 33 car, kind of struggling a little bit. But Wes Holland was running down Justin Michael. He was just 3 seconds behind him after being almost 5 seconds. So he is slowly winding down that gap. So if Greg Mall can't make it and Wes Holland can catch that 87 car, Wes Holland might have something tonight. And Wes Holland has won a road course. I believe it was Road America. So Wes Holland, who said he wasn't a road course racer, he does have 1 win on the season that I know of. And I believe it was Road America.
I think so. He's got several other. I know at least Talladega in the springtime. You see the 5 win stickers on the A-post there from Wes Holland. He's got experience, and I think one was a short track in there, 1.5 miles, Talladega, and a road course. He knows how to get it done throughout the entire schedule here. Wes Holland doing what he can do. Let's talk about this gap between Wes Holland and Matt Rodoloso. What do you think, Ken, if, let's just say that Greg Mall cannot make it to the end with fuel, right? So let's cut Greg Mall out. That makes our top 3 potentially Justin Michael, Wes Holland. Could Matt, right? Here's my question. Can Greg Mall pit and come out before Matt Rodoloso closes a 46-second gap? Or do you think that'd be close?
Yeah, I think they can. I think you only need about 30 seconds. I could be wrong, but I think it's about a 30-second penalty when you go in the pits. Okay. So if Greg Mall can open it up 30, 35 seconds, then maybe he can pit, get it top off with fuel, and get back out there. It actually might be a little less than 30 seconds because all you would need is a splash and dash.
Right. I was just thinking it'd be kind of cool to see Matt Rodoloso doing a heck of a job up here in the top 5. It'd be awesome to see him on the podium tonight if he can. That 13 sharp-looking Jeff Gordon-themed car there.
Yeah, for a minute there, Wes Holland actually closed the gap on Justin Michael again, but then got trapped behind a lap car and lost that distance. We see Justin Michael now approaching the lap car of Michael Loveless there. And that'll probably slow, it'll slow Justin Michael down as they come through 3 and 4 here. Kind of catching this car at a bad time. We'll see the 68, see if he goes to the outside. Justin Michael dives to the inside, be able to make this pass here. And you can see just back there, Wes Holland starting to come into the picture. Wes Holland just exiting the same corner Justin Michael did. They get ready to head into 7 and 8. Up over the hill here, got to be very careful. Yeah, I believe he's just within a couple seconds at the moment.
Yeah, 2 and change, 2.5 off the bumper of Justin Michael. 8 laps to go. Last time around, Justin Michael with a 7.4. Wow, something must have happened to Justin Michael maybe on that lap.
Oh, and the 9 car in the wall just ahead of the 87, and I thought there was going to be a moment there. And now Wes Holland got trapped behind the 9 car. This David Shrek. That slowed up Wes Holland, so Wes Holland's going to lose a lot of the time he was making up, and that's kind of the deal with road course racing. Sometimes you don't always get the cars to fall where you want them to.
Right now, just one car of Michael Loveless separating the gap between Wes Holland. Sideways off of the last corner, turn 17. Sticks that rear end out there to the start-finish line. 7 to go here as you can eyeball Justin Michael here, just ahead of him.
So I'm looking at poor Wes Holland here. He's now behind the 12 car of Trent Drum. Going to go down a couple laps here, and Wes Holland just seems to be catching the cars at just the wrong time everywhere.
It's going to be super frustrating, especially knowing, again, that, you know, there's no chance of him closing a 16-second gap on Greg Mall, but what he does know is Greg Mall potentially has to make another stop here. This could be the race for the lead, just 2.5 seconds off the bumper of Justin Michael. Catching these lap cars at the wrong time is not what Wes Holland needs right now.
Yeah, I know, and he was so close, he could probably just taste, he could start sniffing the exhaust fumes of that 87 car, and then he's back now, 3 seconds back off Justin Michael now, so yeah, extremely frustrating. So we'll see, though. You know, he needs to put pressure on Justin Michael, because if Justin Michael's on the bubble for fuel, the only way you're going to get Justin Michael might be conserving fuel at the moment, and if he could get up to him and start putting some pressure on, that might force Justin Michael to run himself out of fuel.
Exactly. 6 to go this time here at the Charlotte Roval. Jeff Merck in the chat says, keep it up, Kim. Keep it up, Kim. Easy for you to say. Kim's back here in 11th, trying to crack the top 10. Michael Loveless is his next suspect. There's Michael Loveless there. And there's Kim Quick there. Quite the gap to make up here. Not sure he can do it in 6 laps, but nonetheless, Kim Quick doing a heck of a job here, trying to crack the top 10.
Well, what we don't know, Michael Loveless might have to pit again, so I think Kim might be safe. If I remember, what lap did Kim come in?
Kim, you know what? I had to reset the leaderboard, so I don't have the lap information on the stints, unfortunately, tonight.
Yeah, that's all right. I was just curious. My sense is that Kim came in fairly late, along with like Justin Michael and Wes Holland, so I believe Kim can make it all the way, and we're not sure about the people ahead of him.
2 seconds now, that gap between Justin Michael and Wes Holland. There it is. Wes Holland can see that close. There it is.
That's pretty amazing. He basically cut that time in half. So I don't know if Justin Michael got trapped behind, say, the lap car, Michael Loveless, or what happened there, but Wes Holland is definitely making up that time.
See if Wes Holland can catch a break here, maybe with Michael Loveless. See if he gives way to him here in turn number 1. No, he doesn't just yet. Wes Holland is still right on his bumper, hoping not to lose too much time here as the laps tick down. 5 to go here at the Charlotte Roval.
I noticed Wes Holland's got a little bit of damage on the front of that car. I think he's found the wall somewhere on the, looks like on the right quarter, front quarter there. So had a little bit of contact out there, but still super fast. Doesn't seem to be slowing him down.
No, we can see that damage there.
And Justin Michael about to hit a whole bunch of traffic. James Hearns, and it looks like, I'm trying to figure out who that is.
Wally Tierheimer giving way here as teammates with Justin Michael, so I'm sure Wally won't give Justin too much of a hard time here. There goes Wally backing off here to let Justin Michael through.
And we'll see what happens when he gets up to, Wes Holland gets up to him as they go through the chicane here. And he gets out of Wes Holland's way, but again, Wes Holland caught him at a bad time, so there's nowhere you can pull out of the way when you're in the middle of the chicane.
That gap now, still 2 seconds, pretty steady here. 4 to go this time. Greg Mall, man, can Greg make it, you think? Or does he stay out and risk running out of fuel? I think if you're Greg Mall, you got to collect the points when you can, right?
Yeah, he is on the outside looking in, trying to race his way in. You know, he needs to play it safe, but I mean, if you have to make 2 stops, I guess he can make it at the last lap if he has to, but kind of interested to see what he's going to do here. He does have a 20-second lead, so So maybe he'll start backing it down, trying to save a gallon or save a lap of fuel. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
So you mentioned, Ken, that a pit stop is about a 30-second penalty. Is it possible to take a splash and go and get out within 19 seconds, you think? Or, man,
No,
I don't know. No.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think the rundown pit lane is probably 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I didn't do the math here. We'll see. Oh, he's
There he
heading
is
pit
this
lane
time.
right now.
This should be fun to watch. Watching Greg Mall come down pit road.
See where he comes out after that 20-second lead here. Justin Michael rounding the corner here, just to let everyone know, getting ready to hit that last chicane. And Greg Mall hasn't even hit his pit box yet, so Justin
Yeah.
Michael is going to pass him.
Yeah, for sure. There goes Justin for the lead. Wes Holland as well, trying to close that gap. Now the race is on. 3 to go here at Charlotte.
Well, this is really interesting now. We knew
Oh,
Greg
there goes
Mall-
Greg. Sorry to interrupt you. Greg Mall comes out between Justin Michael and Wes Holland. Wow.
I'm actually surprised by that, so I guess you could do it in 20 seconds. Well, actually, I guess it would have been maybe about 23 seconds. I was off by 7 seconds.
Wow, now the race is on. I feel like if you're in Greg Mall's spot, you knew you were behind the power curve making 2 stops, but you gained a 20-second lead over a green flag run. Can he close this, looks like a 1.3-second gap to his teammate Justin Michael, and just 3 laps here left to go. He is on a mission, I can guarantee you that. Man, this is going to be exciting to the end.
I believe he can, too. Obviously, he's been dominating all night. The question is can his teammate even make it to the end? We have thought that the 87 is kind of on the bubble for fuel, and we feel like maybe the 41 is safe. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen, Scott. I guess everybody's going to have to wait around and see.
That's why they call it racing, right? That's what they say. Justin Michael up here, you can see him just ahead of Greg Mall as he closes that gap, now down to 1 second. If my math is right, especially if Rod Mitten is going to hold up the leader, Justin Michael here. I could spell trouble for Justin Michael as Rod Mitten continues to stay in the racing groove there and now gives it up to Justin there.
Oh, Justin almost gets into the side of the 92 car there, Rod Mitten.
And
Rod
Greg
Mitten
Mall
trying to
catches
get up.
him at the perfect spot there. Wes Holland wheeling and dealing back there. Gets sideways off of turn, I think that was 5 it is. But this battle for
Yeah.
the lead certainly heating up here between Justin Michael and Greg Mall.
And you got Charles Widener just ahead of them. I imagine Charles will pull over. Charles doesn't have anybody he's battling at the moment. We'll have to see what happens here. And that caused Wesley Holland to slip back there about a second or two. He's not even sniffing the draft at the moment of these two guys.
There you see the picture. You can see the pink car of Wes Holland in the background there. Charles Widener goes a little bit wide through the chicane. I got to imagine he's got to give this spot up to the leaders here in NASCAR 3 and 4. There he goes high. Let's Justin Michael down low. And Greg Mall to follow suit. Doesn't want to get in the way of the leaders. Nice job by Charles there. Man, the race is on. 2 laps to go. White flag this time by. Last time around. The Charlotte Roval there. See the flag, man. The race is on here. Man, I didn't expect a bumper-to-bumper battle here. How is Greg going to do it? Keeping in mind, it's also his teammate here for the win.
And does the 87 car have the fuel to get it done? Will the two teammates make contact and take each other out, allowing Wes Holland to sneak one
wow.
off? There's all kinds of storylines here. Wes Holland is kind of trapped behind lap cars right now. Battle is up front between the 87 and the 7 car. 7 car putting all kinds of pressure on there. Thought he's going to put the bumper to him. Looking for a way around.
There it is. He's gassing it up. Trying to find any spot. Can you cut it down low here? Coming into the NASCAR. Turn number 1. Scrapes off the wall. Trying to get everything out of that Miller Misfortune car. Catches the draft down the backstretch. Mr. Holland in the chat now says, good evening, gentlemen. West running in 3rd right now. 3 seconds off this great battle for the lead. Last lap here. Last time around the chicane.
All right, now does the 87 car have the fuel to get it done? Here we go. This is going to find it as they head towards that final chicane here. Greg Mall gives up a little bit of time.
Justin says
Outside.
pitting.
Out of fuel.
Justin pitting.
Out of fuel. 87 out of fuel. And can Wes Holland catch up to that 87 car? I don't think so. Wes Holland in traffic.
Wow.
87 crosses the line. Greg Hall wins this thing. 87, Justin Michael in second. Holy crap.
And Wes Holland holds on to third, even though Justin was sputtering there across the finish line. Let's go back to the fourth place battle. Matt Rodoloso, the last car on the lead lap tonight, comes through NASCAR turn 3 and 4. Coming up to the chicane turn 15, 16, and 17 to finish this thing. Last car on the lead lap. What a battle. What a storyline up front. Greg Mall in the Miller Misfortune car does it again here. Win number 3 on the season. Great job by Matt here across the line in third spot. Last car on the lead.
And I really think there, Scott, you know, with Greg Mall coming out just behind Justin Michael, that forced Justin Michael's hand to start having to put the accelerator pedal down.
Wow.
And that probably just cost him the win right there. So Greg Mall did it when it counted. Now the question is will he be able to race his way in? We won't have that probably for you tonight, folks, but he's going to be close.
Man, we got to wait till see what the points fall after this race. Let's see if Greg... But, man, it's hard to argue that he doesn't deserve a spot in the top 8 here with 3 wins on the season, performing when it counts the most on that pit stop. Wow.
I think he's lost trying to find his way back to the front stretch here, see if he's got enough fuel to do a burnout in that Miller. I guess we can call it a fortune car now.
I'm so used to calling it a misfortune now. I'm going to, like, stutter when I have to call it right, but...
So he's got a short track win, he's got a restrictor plate win, and now he's got a road course win. So he doesn't have a cookie cutter track yet, doesn't have the 1.5 miles yet, but we still got more tracks.
We get some of those coming up. Yeah, in the playoffs here, Las Vegas, Homestead comes to mind. But of course, the Martinsville Fall Race also comes to mind here.
As we watch Greg Mall burn it down. Well-deserved Greg Mall. So we're going to go try to track down our top 3 tonight and bring them up to the booth and have a chat, see how they got it done tonight.
Certainly the teammates of Greg Mall and Justin Michael, as well as Wes Holland finishing in third. Get them in the green room here as Greg Mall continues to burn them down on the front stretch for the fans here with the brake stand. Full stand here, grandstand at Charlotte Motor Speedway. What an awesome finish to an awesome race here. Can't wait for these interviews here momentarily. Here we go.
Yeah, so going back through our results, we talked about the top 4 on the lead lap. Charles Widener finishes in the top 5, finishing in 5th. Rod Minton in 6th. So good run by both those guys. James Hearns finishes in 7th. Again, this is going to shake up the points. Well, not shake it up, but it's going to be questionable whether these guys are able to race their way into the top 8. Some guys that struggled. Billy Bumgardner finishes in 14th. He was one of those guys on the bubble. I don't know that he's going to have enough to get done. Same thing with Trent Drum out there in that 12 car. He finishes 15th, so struggles for some of our chasers. So I think people like Billy Bumgardner and Trent Drum had a pretty disappointing evening trying to get into the top 8. We'll see next week when we're I think we are at Las Vegas next week.
Yes, Las Vegas it is. But for right now, finishing up the Roval in third spot, Wes Holland with a heck of a run. Pit stop strategy made it on one stop here. How frustrating was that to see Greg Mall pull out in front of the pits, which is a handful of laps to go, just in front of here being the faster car tonight. But nonetheless, picking up third spot and a lot of points going forward as we cut the field down to 8 tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that those guys were going to try the one stop also, so not too disappointing. Just glad that it came out of there with a good finish and somewhat clean race. Cut the grass there at the end, gave myself a 1X, so, but all in all, good race. I like these road courses because of non-caution, so.
Yeah, certainly. How was it out there? How was the tire wear? Did you take, you obviously didn't take tires there, right? Did you know that from testing going into this, that the tire was pretty hard that NASCAR brought to the track tonight and there wasn't a whole lot of fall off?
It's been kind of the same story all season long. I mean, all these road courses, they really don't do much to the tires, so gone by that theory all season long, so it worked out again. Knew probably was going to be faster on the second run, and definitely was. Burn a little bit more fuel than I wanted, but like I said, good finish. That's all we needed here. So.
Yeah, we were wondering in the first half of that race, Wes, that you were a little bit slow on the pace in terms of keeping up with the pace of Greg Mall, but then you made it another 2 or 3 laps ahead of Greg before you made your pit stop on lap 20, I believe it was. Were you saving a little bit and then maybe planning on picking up the pace a little bit in the second half? But then we saw a lot of opportunities where you got caught behind a lot of lap traffic here that didn't go your way. How was that? How frustrating was that battling through lap traffic on this thing?
Yeah, this track's like, I mean, it's definitely more technical than most of the road courses we go to. So, kind of just didn't have the speed even when I tested by myself. So, knew I was probably going to run slow in that first run, and I used different shifting points in the second run just because I knew I had a little bit extra fuel to work with. So, I just wanted to make sure I made it on one stop. That was the base strategy, not coming in twice, and ended up back in 10th or 15th. So
yeah, I think we've seen that from you before, where we made the comment of Justin Michael, guys like that, and yourself is also in that pod of people who think of a race from start to finish, and you obviously look at 37 laps, you know, green flag to checkered flag, and you're able to put it together from fuel strategy standpoint. We've seen that from you before with your win at Road America on the road course, as well as Talladega, and I think there was a shortcut or a short track in the mix as well there. With your 5 wins on the season. Unfortunately, couldn't pull off tonight, but what do we got for Las Vegas next week as we cut it down to 8 contenders for the playoffs?
Just good finishes. Just need to make it to the final 4 there in the last race there at Phoenix. So just clean, solid finishes, and hope we advance. So that's pretty much my strategy in the next round. Not necessarily running for a win. Wins are nice, but they don't advance you in this league. So just good finishes, and hopefully like solid top 5s, top 10s throughout the last round here.
Absolutely. You've shown that you can do that consistently. Looking forward to you being a championship contender here as we wind it down. And anybody to thank for the podium finish, 3rd place tonight?
Just all my buddies at Bad Apple, you guys up in the booth for putting this on, letting us watch it. It's a pretty cool deal there. And yeah, all the admins in the league putting this on every week, giving us a place to run. So same.
Appreciate it, Wes. Looks like your father was maybe a little bit late to the chat this evening, but he nonetheless saw the end of the race at the very least. And look forward to seeing you next week at Las Vegas, I'm sure. Congratulations on 3rd place tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys.
There it is from Wes Holland going up to 2nd place. Ken, here is Justin Michael.
Hey, Justin, Ken Huber in the booth with Scott. Hey, great job on that 2nd place finish, but I know you got to be a little bit frustrated there at the end, but at least it was your teammate. Describe that last couple of laps and what you were thinking, what you had for fuel.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have came out 2 seconds further behind, I would have been fine. I had everything down to where I was going to run out just past the start-finish line, but as soon as he got behind me, I had to start pushing it, so there was nothing I could do. So I just ran out there and on the big track on 3 and 4. So it is what it is. So we'll take 2nd.
Yeah, that's not a bad finish. You've shown some real road course talent there. I watched the start, and the start's kind of tricky, and I figured it was going to be you and the Hamby show. So I do have to ask, being that Greg Mall is a teammate, did you know that Greg Mall was going to have that kind of speed tonight?
Yeah, we've been practicing all week, and it takes a lot of practice to get really good at these tracks, especially when you don't know them. I'm just glad I don't have to learn another one this year, as far as I know. But yeah,
we can change that for you.
No, thanks. Appreciate it though. Unless it's Watkins Glen, I really like that track. But he's been putting in a lot of practice. I put in a lot of practice. He did some official races. I didn't. I think I only did 1. I didn't do that well, but. And then I knew he wanted to lead 1 lap. So the same lap that Hamby wrecked, I told him, I said, hey, 1 lap, go. You can have 1 lap because I know you need the point. And I don't think he understood the concept that he needed to give that back to me. So we'll work on that.
Not.
But as soon as he didn't pull it back or give it back to me, I just started saving gas. Like, well, let's try it and see what happens. See if I can make it in 1 stop.
Well, you almost pulled it off. Great start, great race all the way around. Really enjoyed watching you guys at the start of the race. I think Scott and I talked about it. We knew you guys were going to be running up front, and it was definitely exciting. The last 3 or 4 laps, Scott and I were going crazy. It's like, oh, everybody's on the bubble. We don't know which way it's going to go, and Greg Mall pulls off a heck of a pit stop there. and able to get in, like you said, and duck in right behind him. But at least he kept the heat from Wesley Holland encroaching on you. So again, congrats on that second place finish. So next week we're at Las Vegas, and I think if I remember you talking about those type of tracks, you like those cookie cutter 1.5 mile type tracks.
I do. It's no secret that that's one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully we'll do good, and we just got to survive and stay in the top 4, going into the next round.
Do you have enough room on that car for more win stickers?
Well, I don't know. I'm still missing one. Scott didn't put it on there, so we'll hopefully next week we'll do too.
We got some updating to do. I can't keep track of them after that pace. Or maybe it's just because I'm so aggravated that you actually broke my record of 10 last year, that you're stuck at 10, and we're just going to leave it 10 on the car.
Well, it is what it is. Maybe we'll go for more. We'll break our own record next year.
All right, sounds good, Justin. You got anybody you want to thank tonight?
Just you guys for calling a good race as always, and good job on Greg on the win, and everybody there from the team, and my friend Darren out there is always watching. Scott for painting the awesome car, and as always, so check that out. And, Kim for putting on a great league.
Well, it was awesome talking to you tonight. So we'll move you back to your team. Meanwhile, I'm going to run back downstairs, and Scott, I'll let you close it out with our race winner, and we'll see you guys next week.
Sounds good, Ken. Have a good week. Justin, appreciate it, and congrats, and we'll talk to you next week from Las Vegas. There it is. Now we talk to Greg Mall, our race winner tonight. Man, no lack of drama here. The Ford Miller Misfortune car. See, it just flows off the tongue so naturally, but I gotta tell you, it's I think we gotta go back to the original name of the Miller Fortune car. Off middle of the race, but then had to give it back by making an extra pit stop, which you nailed when it counts, performed when it matters, comes back out, and between yourself and between Justin Michael out front and then Wes Holland in third behind you, split that gap, closed the gap on Justin Michael. How was that race for the lead there, knowing that he was going to run out of fuel any minute?
I honestly didn't know if he was going to have enough fuel to make it. I was going with the assumption that he was probably going to save enough fuel to have a late race fend off there for the win. But yeah, I just kind of didn't have the best exit coming out of the infield, coming out to NASCAR 1, and figure I'd just try and stay on his back bumper, make him use up a ton of fuel there on the backstretch, and then going through the bus stop. Kind of stayed with a similar gap leaving the first chicane there, going into NASCAR 3, and then all of a sudden I hear Justin yell fuel, and I'm like, oh dear God, this can't possibly be true. And sure enough, see him stumbling there on the inside line, sweep right past him, and kind of groove off into the sunset. And yeah, that was nothing short of insane from my point of view, and I'm sure the broadcast, you guys had a whale of a time calling that one.
We did. Ken and I both enjoyed that. We were screaming here in the booth. We couldn't talk over each other loud enough. That was an awesome race there with 2 to go, and then the drama of Justin actually running out of fuel. But I gotta imagine that it was your persistence and putting the pressure on him that, if Justin was out there on his own strategy, and you and I both know Justin inside and out, that he would have been able to calculate the fuel precisely to get to the checkered flag. But I gotta believe that it was your persistence and putting the pressure on that made him gas it up just enough to put him in a predicament where he ran out of fuel in turn 3 and 4 there. So nice job keeping that pressure on. I gotta ask you, how was it on the first half of this race? Talking about the fuel strategy, did you go in with the idea that it was going to be a 2-stop race for sure, or was that just kind of the result of the green flags and let it play out where it did?
Yeah, coming into this race, with running, NIS throughout the week and getting a little bit of a brief idea as to what fuel numbers to kind of expect during a run, with the lighter fuel load in these cars on Monday nights, playing a little bit of a factor, influencing that calculation a little bit. But I thought with a relatively cool track like we had tonight, I had to figure that a 1-stop race was going to be very difficult, and you had to be really aggressive saving early. And I was kind of surprised to see that Justin was kind of running a similar pace as to what I was doing during the first run. And, it just kind of seemed to me like I was not even close to being able to make it on 1 stop. And then coming in 1 lap before him, I just knew that kind of sealed my fate anyways, in terms of not being able to make it the rest of the way on just the fuel that I had at the time. So I just thought to myself, if Justin or Wes is going to try and make it on 1 more stop, they're really going to have to back their pace off. And I just figured I had to run the absolute fastest laps that I could. ran into a little bit of a traffic jam there with James and those guys going into the first U-turn in the infield there. So that kind of cost us a little bit of time and speed there, but just felt like we had enough speed in the Miller Fortune Ford Mustang to be able to make it to where we could just be really aggressive pushing them, and had a quick pit stop there to just kind of do a splash and go, and then just being able to re-enter the racetrack in the infield between Justin and Wes. Kind of a perfect case scenario. And just those last 2.5 or 3 laps, whatever it was, I just figured we had to be right there. We couldn't lift a finger on the pressure there. So lucky enough, they didn't have enough fuel to make it there on the end, and just cruise right to victory.
Absolutely. Hats off to you, man. Perform when it counts. Like I said, everything on the pit stop, everything down to calculating exactly how much fuel you needed for the pit stop, reducing that as much as possible, because you take another 2 gallons and maybe that gap doesn't close up like you expected to in the last 2 laps. So congratulations on calculating that. Great job out there. And let's look forward to next week. Obviously, moving on to the round of 8 here. Actually, we're not sure, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna be darn close for sure. As we look at that points battle up on the screen, you were in 12th spot coming in with 2 wins on the season, but 85, I'm counting 23 points maybe to make the cut. That's gonna be hard. We're gonna have to wait till the points come out from Kim Quick, but see where everything falls. But I know you're trying to gain as many bonus points as you can to try to make up that gap tonight. But nonetheless, what do you got for Las Vegas next week at the 1.5 miles?
Yeah, Vegas should be interesting. Just kind of based off of what we did in the spring. We showed some speed. I think we qualified up front, maybe front row, maybe second row. Had a little bit of decent speed over our long run, I think. And we'll just have to see what the final points tally comes up after tonight. I mean, I knew coming into tonight we had to be max points, and I think we got pretty close to perfection on that. So we'll have to see. If we end up making it onto the round of 8, awesome. If not, I knew coming into tonight I had to get a pretty similar result as we did tonight, so I can't be too disappointed about that. But Vegas should be a good time, hopefully, and see if we can get some decent momentum going into the next round.
Absolutely. Looks forward to seeing what you can do there, even if you don't make the cut. Nonetheless, creating some excitement in the multi-league here, maybe putting some more win stickers on the car. We'll put that one on for you this week going forward. And who gets it done for you this week? Getting the trailer, the Miller Fortune trailer to the racetrack. Who does it for you? Who helps you out to get the trailer to the racetrack?
Well, can't go without saying the guys down in Bandit, with Justin and Wally tonight. They were throughout the week, we just kind of were pushing each other. Justin and I were, anyways, just try and find some speed during this tricky Roval with all these turns. And sure enough, we were able to shave some time off here and there and find some fast speed during tonight's race, and it paid off there at the end. Can't go without saying all the friends and family that are watching on Twitch and all their support. This has definitely been an exciting season, exciting night to say the least. And of course, you, Scott, and with Ken up here in the booth, that was this will be a fun race to go back and watch for sure. And can't go without saying you, Scott, Patented Paint's making an awesome looking Ford that we bring to the racetrack each week. So
appreciate it, bud. Looks like your mom was watching there too. Shelly was cheering you on from the chat. Awesome to see her celebrate the victory with you as well. So look forward to see the Miller Fortune car next week at Las Vegas, or whatever car. We bring fertilizer back or a Fortune? Which one is it? Do you know yet?
We'll have to, we're 1 for 1 on both paint jobs here during this round. So I think both may have an equal shot of bringing some decent Fortune to the racetrack. But we'll have to see. I don't know. Might have to bring this one back out. But
I was gonna say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it is my logo.
Absolutely. So.
Sounds good, Greg. Look forward to seeing you next week at Las Vegas when we roll some dice, and should be some great racing out there. Congrats on win number 3 on the season, Greg Mall at the Charlotte Roval, getting it done when it counts. Congratulations, bud.
Thanks, sir.
There we are, folks. That about wraps it up from the Charlotte Roval. What an awesome finish for these guys, and they did an awesome job here. There's your running order here. We'll try to, try to get some final results for you here tonight. Greg Mall, Justin Michael, Wes Holland, Matt Rodoloso, last car on the lead lap. Charles Widener, Ron Minton, James Hearns in 7th, Michael Lovelace, Vernon Margheim, Kim Quick, subbing for Jeff Merck, of course. 1 lap down, picking up some good top 10 points for Jeff out there. And finishing in 11th, we've got Mark Billen, Jack Watts, Wally Tierheimer, Billy Bumgarner, Trent Drum, all these cars running into issues. David Trek, John Stepanich, Heath Smith ended up 10 laps down. I'd be interested to see how that happened. I'm not sure we covered that during the race. I know he was up there in the top 10. Most of it. Johnny Hamby, of course, getting into that wreck and breaking the right front tow rod there on the right side wall. JJ Garrett from Kingstown, Indiana, rounding out the top 20 tonight. And then let's see if we can get, that looks like it, 20 cars starting this thing. JJ Garrett rounding out the field, 9 laps down. So appreciate it, everybody watching here tonight for the Multi-League Racing Network. My name is Scott Patton on behalf of Ken Huber and myself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Let us know if you have any suggestions for us to improve this broadcast for you in the future. Otherwise, congrats to Greg Mall, winner number 3 on the season. We look forward to seeing everybody from Las Vegas next week. And have a safe week, everybody. Good night from the Multi-League Racing Network and the Charlotte Roval.
Drivers, start your engines.